Hey guys, welcome back to Sam's Project Bench. Sorry it's been a little while since my last video. I think the last one was me chatting about the turbo project I have in store for this thing. So I was intending to drop another video in between this one, but I decided, because there's so much body work I had to do, I would combine it all in one, maybe a little longer episode, but we've made a lot more progress and this thing is almost ready for paint. So not a lot left. Stick around, you'll see what we've achieved in this episode. On this episode, I'm fixing some of these old bolt holes that used to hold our side steps on the side of the patrol. When I first bought this thing was dead standard. It was low, it had 30-inch tires, and it had these awful aluminium side steps that were bolted through the seal, just the seal lip underneath. And that's how they were fastened. So as soon as I went full driving with those side steps in place, they just got torn from the car and just disconnected themselves. So we'll look down here and see this is one of the ones that's still in place, but down here it is torn straight out. So I'm going to give this little reciprocating air saw a go. I'm hoping I can just slide this into the existing hole, cut a little bit across and down, and repeat the process on the other side, and then add another piece in there and tack it into place. But we'll figure it out as we go and see what we end up with. I've got this nice little notch just in the seal there, and I've got this little patch panel that can go in just like that, and I can come in with the angle grinder and level that off after. But that gives me something to hold on, at least with the vice grips, and tack it into place. So I've got my little earth point for the welder, and now I can tack that in place. Now, I spent the last several days crawling underneath the car, scrubbing underneath, and it's all now painted. You can see we're now all black underneath. So it's not going to be a perfect job considering just laying on my back and hitting it with the spray gun. But I think I've got most of everywhere. So I scrubbed back, went back to bare metal wherever it looked like there was some rust forming, and that's all been treated. So the whole chassis rail has been scrubbed and cleaned and all that. And the floor pan's been touched up. So now that the underbody is done, we can start working on the bodywork again. Run over here, you can see I've patched up these seal rails. These are that little pinch strip. Not the most perfect job, but it's a lot better than it was. And I'm not too concerned if it's not perfect stuff. Alright, I'm going to jump back into the bodywork. I'm going to get this ready for paint. Alright, so I've been sanding away at this. It's now got a few layers of the high build primer on here. So we come around the other side. I've also put a few high build layers of primer here as well. As you can see, had a couple paint runs, but that's alright. I've still got a whole bunch of sanding. You could probably see some high and low spots there. So that needs a whole lot of work. Up here, there's a bit of a, don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's some unevenness around this section here that I'm still yet to repair. So, I'll come over here. So you can see a few spots in the roof. It's got a bit of a filler left on there, but I was already priming the area, so I'll sand that area. Got a spot here to fix. If you look here, it's not too bad. Not 100% perfect there, but I'm not concerned about that. That's good enough for me. But around here, you can see it's not great. It's better than it was before I started, but still got quite a bit of work here. But I've just put the primer down now, so it needs time to set. You can see the primer really accentuates the unevenness, which makes the life a little easier when you're sanding. So I'll probably spray a light guide coat on that and hit it with the block again. That way I can see exactly where I need to work. So still got all that area to scuff up and put some high build primer on as well. Been sitting so long, I've got a few spider webs in the corner, but it's alright. Once I clean that up, there's not a worry. Underneath here, I've got some work down there as well. I might mask up my chassis because I just finished painting that. I don't want to put primer all over it. So we're making some progress on the bodywork here. So here, the dent that was in this section is pretty much completely gone. So that there, I'm happy with. This down here is looking pretty good. Gotta probably touch up a few areas. Oh, let that focus. Touch a few areas of primer there. So I've still got a few areas to fix up around this internal section there. And I'm still working on here, but this is about 90% done. Another little dent somewhere here. I'm not hugely concerned by it. Probably, see if you can actually see. The light's terrible. I'll probably block sand that a bit more there and get that a lot flatter. So in the corner here, I've done a little bit of work. Just got the high build primer on there, so I should be able to block that down, and that should just about come up looking pretty good as is. So still a bit of work for me to carry on here, so I'm going to get back at it and check in with you in a few minutes. So we've made a heap of progress on this thing. Now the whole thing is in the primer filler primer, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of these dents are just no more. I still got a little bit of block sanding to go here. Not 100% smooth, but once I hit that one more time with the sander, that will be just fine. So the little dents up there, they're gone. So primer all the way down here. I wasn't 100% happy with everything that was done there prior, so I sanded that back down. Got a very good clean surface, and that is now good. And all this has been sanded, reprimed, all that, so that is great also. So this here, well, I haven't quite touched that up with primer yet. That's all right, it hasn't gone back down to metal, so that's not a worry there. So I'm happy with how this is sitting. So some people may be able to notice it's not 100% perfect, but for my skill level, I'm quite happy with that. And from memory, there was one right here. I think you can slightly see some of the primer underneath starting to show as I've block sanded it down. But I'm happy with that. Also, this here could probably use a touch up as well. A few spots to hit with the sander, but we're getting very close for paint. So there was a couple up on the roof as well. This one was fairly bad, but that's pretty much gone with the last coat of primer. So we've got the C pillar here, a little bit down the bottom here, and a little bit of sanding here. Well, once I have those last few areas sorted, then I just need to go over the whole lot, sand it down. Being a filler primer, it sprays a little rough. That might have a lot to do with the gun I'm using too. But I'm going to be giving a light sand on top, getting it ready for our first base coat. So that's going to be it for this episode. Stick around, next episode we're going to be painting this thing. So we're finally there. So got to fix the last few things and then we're painting it. So stay around for that. We'll see you next time on Sans Project Bench.